Hi, everybody. It is May 30th, 2021, and we are in the question and answer section of our Morgellons call. And I do have one question that has been texted to me from Duncan, and he wants to know, can he apply the triple pesticide to the mattress and box springs, and should he alternate any other pesticides with the triple pesticide? And I'd like to make a couple of comments and then turn it over to you, if I may.
Sure.
Okay, so first of all, your mattress and box springs should be encased in zippered vinyl covers. And yeah, you can spray the covers as much as you want and then wipe them down, but these things are so tiny, spraying the top of a thick mattress isn't going to do much. And if you can encase them in zippered vinyl covers, your pillows, your mattress, and your box springs, and either put New Bond strips, which are a solid pesticide, NUVAN, inside on the bottoms, or even sprinkle menthol crystals inside the vinyl cover, which is zippered and it totally encases it, then, you know, you will be protected. You don't have to constantly be spraying your mattress, and they don't recommend spraying a mattress with pesticide and then sleeping on it. When I used the triple pesticide, they come in bottles where you squeeze it into this measuring part, and I ended up using over half, like they were saying, you know, use a quarter, and I would fill it up to the halfway mark, and then mix it in a 28-ounce bottle of water with the egg delayer, Gentrol, I forget the names of them.
Onslaught,
and
Exponent, IGR.
Yeah, and I would spray everything. I didn't just spray the floors, or I sprayed like a global spray everywhere, every 10 days. And in between the 10 days, I would spray with the electrostatic sprayer and an enzyme cleaner. I would spray with Garden Safe Fungicide 3. I would sometimes mix them together. Sometimes I would spray with another pesticide. I found permethrin. You can buy permethrin as a pesticide, and if you don't dilute it a lot, mites hate it. I'll tell you, mites really hate permethrin. So, and it's good to have those things in between because they can build resistance to things. So you kind of rotate what you do. But I was very consistent with the triple pesticide every 10 days for 4 months. And I combined it with ozoning. So I would I would wear a mask and goggles and gloves and cover my head, spray the whole house, and leave for at least an hour, and then I would ozone for 2 hours. And I did that every 10 days for 4 months. And I also sprayed every day with the enzyme cleaner. So I don't know if that answers the question, but that's just my experience.
I would say that I would not suggest spraying anything that your body is going to come in contact with the triple pesticide. It says that it's only dangerous to fish, you know, and you're not a fish, obviously. But hey, it's a chemical.
Right.
And,
but the other thing is,
and I wouldn't spray it on anything that your body comes in contact with. I just wouldn't do it. Safety first.
I agree with that. But also, it doesn't leave its residual effect is minimal compared to other pesticides.
Right. There's a benefit that we have in the store that is tremendously powerful. It's organic. It's based on thyme. Garden Safe Fungicide 3. Now, for me, it's simple ammonia did a trick. But I wasn't dealing with the kinds In other words, Robin gave you the ultimate because she's dealing apparently with the ultimate. If I had the ultimate type of organisms that she's dealing with, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't know about the King diet because it probably would have killed me.
Oh.
I never would have. So you start with what something basic like ammonia. If that doesn't work, you upgrade. She used ozone, electrostatic sprayer. She went at it with a full arsenal, and that's what you need to be prepared to do. You need to be prepared to get out all the guns and go after these organisms until you eradicate them, clean them out of your environment. It took me 3 months just to get them out of the footrest in my couch. And then I found out that they weren't on the footrest, they were in the tuft. I never thought of looking at the tufts in the ends of the footrest. That's where they were, and I was spraying the top and the bottom and wondering why I'm getting nowhere. So you need to think like a mite. You need to think, where can they be? Where can they go? And you need to go after them. And the benefit of the electrostatic sprayer, it doesn't care where the hell they are. It's going to get them because it's got a positive charge on the particles coming out. They're negatively charged. It's like two magnets going together. So it'll get in the tufts, it'll get behind things, it'll go places, it'll get in cracks that your sprays won't go.
Right, right.
And
I never used pesticide in the electrostatic.
No, I wouldn't suggest it.
Do that.
And anybody using enzymes, do not use the enzymes with anything else. They are live organisms. If you put them in your laundry with borax, goodbye enzymes. So if you're using enzymes, use them standalone. Do not use them with any disinfectants at all. Do not use them with nature's gift. Nature's gift will destroy them. They're powerful by themselves. Do not dilute them with anything else. Any other questions?
I don't have any other questions. I do. Someone had texted me a picture and said, "Oh, do you know what this is?" And I couldn't remember the name of the doctor that said we could send him pictures. Maybe you could just mention that for people. Because it doesn't help to send me pictures.
Well, pictures are not going to cut it. I'll have to look it up. I think his name was Dr. John
Oh,
and it's UHURE or something like that. And I'll have to look that up. And he welcomes samples if you want to take samples and send them to him in a jar or a little bottle, not a big mason jar. Yeah, right. And right, and he will look at them. He's not going to identify them. He's just going to catalog them or whatever, and you might communicate with him as what his faults are, but he's not there to identify or to diagnose you, just to look at them. Pictures are of no value. One lady sent me a picture and says, "Well, is this typical of Morgellons?" Well, let me say this. When you complete the questionnaire, I have a pretty good sense of what you're dealing with, and I can educate you. In other words, if you have filaments or fibers coming out of your skin, or if you find filaments and fibers in little tiny balls around, fuzz balls that are not normally in your bedding and clothing, that indicates to me you're dealing with Morgellons. And if you read Dr. Saverly's book, that's what she says. So I'm educating you as to what Dr. Saverly says in her book. Filaments and fibers are an indication of Morgellons. If you tell me you have things around your ankles and lower legs that itch and bite somewhat like when you were attacked at some time in your life by fleas, but you can't see them, what would that be?
Springtails.
Absolutely. They're springing up from the floor onto your ankles and lower legs and feet, and they're bugging the hell out of you. If you tell me you've got eyelashes that are sticky and crusty and eyelids are sticky and crusty, well, springtails. If you tell me you got things on the back of your shoulders and the back of your neck or the back of your scalp that are crustaceous and lesions that don't heal or last a long time, springtails. If you tell me you have burning skin red, burning skin. You go to WebMD, skin fungus. If you tell me you have rashes around your midsection, abdominal hives on your anus, alternating constipation and diarrhea, what is recent loss of weight, and there's 7 symptoms listed. Strongyloides. Just go to the Google and Google symptoms of strongyloides, and all 7 of them pop up. That's an indication that you should get tested. So there's no magic here. It's all education. If you complete the questionnaire, you go down the list. Now, all of these organisms have different impacts, different connections, and different things. So you're going to see all kinds of pictures. The typical ones that oftentimes show up that identify Morgellons are filaments that look like a bow tie. So if you've ever seen a filament that looks like a bow tie, that's definitely Morgellons.
Or multicolored.
Yeah, but we're looking at photographs. So yeah, if you see the colors of the filaments, yeah, definitely Morgellons. If you have a thing on your hand that looks like a bruise, you know, like when we get older, it's easier. Our skin, I know Margie could probably explain this to us, why ever, but if you hit your hand against something, it's more likely to find you'll see a bruise there. But this happens with younger people. So if you see a thing like a bruise that grows into an ulceration, that's Morgellons. But all the other stuff, ulcerations and things that are going on with your skin, that could be anything. So the bottom line is, when we're looking at Morgellons, there are no 2 people in the whole wide world that have exactly the same symptoms. Some people have white goo. Some people have black goo. Some people have no goo. Some people have organisms coming out of their skin. Some people have no organisms coming out of their skin. Some people have barbed things, plastics like coming out of their skin that can be 3/4 of an inch to 3 inches in length. Others have nothing like that coming out of their skin. Some people have fungal infections, others don't. Some people have 90% have Lyme disease. I mean, Robin believes 100%, but the studies say 90%. Others don't. So there's no commonality. There's no 2 symptoms that are the same for any 2 people with Morgellons. Even the filaments and fibers differ in color, intensity, and some are big and long and reported to move. Others are so tiny that you have to see them with a 30-power microscope. And the only way you really know you have it, unless you have a microscope, is that you see them accumulating as little fuzz balls and lint balls. So there are no 2 symptoms that are exactly alike. From my experience in working with thousands of people that have sent me pictures, and please don't send me pictures because they really tell me very little, unless you have very clear microscopic pictures that maybe we can use for publication sometime in the future if we ever do a video book about Morgellons. So if my voice seems a little raspy or a little deeper today, it's because I was dealing with a sore throat yesterday and wiped it out with the mouthwash and the cocktail, Morgellons cocktail. Burned the hell out of my throat, but it got rid of the infection. Anyone questions?
Yes, Richard. I have somebody going to ask you a question.
Great.
Last number is 9607. Your line is open. Please ask.
Hi, this is Jennifer from Florida.
Hi, Jennifer. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
I think I just answered one of your questions.
You did. And I suppose I should ask the same question so we can keep going, I guess. I actually have 2 questions today, though. Yeah. But the first thing that I was wondering about is the last several months I've woken up every day and every night, every single day and every night with a lot of mosquito bites or welts that everybody identified them as mosquito bites as well as myself. Never saw a mosquito on my body, not one. I was the only one in the house getting bit by these mosquitoes, and nobody saw the mosquitoes, but they were all over my body and they saw that. And nothing that I bought over the counter worked, and I wanted to know if that was associated with Morgellons or.
Most likely not Morgellons, but most likely either Collembola, springtails, or some kind of mite that has carried these organisms to your body.
And what would help with that?
Well, number one, you want to be disinfecting your clothing and your bedding on a daily basis. Excuse me. I think the ultimate is Robin's technique, where you get a large tote, you put about 2 inches of, maybe an inch of ammonia in the bottom, and if you can find something to separate the ammonia in the bottom so that when you put your clothes on top, the clothes are not actually going to get that wet. It doesn't matter if they get wet, but the fumes are what does the job. You cover it and let the fumes work on the bedding and the clothing for a few hours. Then you put them in the washing machine with, just enzymes if you want to just use enzymes, or you can use borax. You can use, definitely always use our Nature's Gift laundry soap, because it has no sodium lauryl sulfate, which can irritate your skin, that you'll find in the commercial detergents and laundry soaps. You can use other disinfectants, but if you're using the enzymes, don't use any disinfectants, okay? And then you put them in the dryer. When you put them in the dryer, make sure you pour on some liquid ammonia onto a towel or something absorbent, anywhere from a third of a cup up to a full cup if you have to. You could add some peppermint oil or clove oil. If we're dealing with mites, it seems that clove oil has the magic answer to, they hate them. They hate clove. So dry it and then take them out, put them in plastic bags until you use them. You could put methyl crystals in those plastic bags until you take them out, and then either wear or put the sheets on your bed. So that's important to that's probably the ultimate in, you may not have to do all that, but that's the ultimate in cleaning your bedding. Anything to add to that, Robin?
Well,
that's really your thing. Yeah.
The diet.
Yes.
Well, I was going to ask, since you mentioned the clove oil, is there anything, because I do have 100% pure clove oil. I'm really into essential oils, but I didn't know which ones to use. And can you mix that with a different, something to use on your body or internally, or would that help, or is it just for the laundry?
Clove oil is a very important oil, and you can use it in diffusers to clean out your area. You can add it to. Someone had already asked earlier in the pre-portion with Ethel about how to treat the hair and the scalp area, so you can mix it in. I mean, we have a lot of creams and gels in our store, and we have the clove oil, and you can mix.
So I could mix the clove oil with the debriding soap?
Yeah, yes, you can.
Okay.
If you're using it in your bath, if you're any oil that you might use in your bath to disinfect the organisms, you would mix the oil with the debriding soap first, and then put it in the bath so the oils don't float on top.
Awesome.
Especially if
I'm so sorry I got off topic. I'm sorry.
I
Go ahead,
would
Robin.
add about if you're using peppermint oil and you don't mix it with the debriding soap, you'll feel like you're freezing if you're sensitive to peppermint oil. But in terms of clove oil, if you get food-grade clove oil, you can put a drop or two under your tongue every morning, and it helps a lot. And I created I used coconut oil as a carrier oil. Now, we can't eat coconut oil, but we can smear it all over our body, and it has wonderful healing.
I was going to get some at the store, but I said that's on the no list.
No, it's on the no list to eat, but not for
to eat. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
But not for your skin. So I mixed. I mixed like 2/3 coconut oil with, I want to say, a half a cup of neem oil and a quarter cup of clove and peppermint and tea tree oil all together, and then I add a little bit of diatomaceous earth and a nice thick skin cream, and I would smear it head to toe, and so many, because the bath draws things out. It doesn't always kill everything. The oils finish drawing them out and suffocate them. So
well, you know, that's perfect for me because I only have a shower.
So, and then afterwards I would probably have to rinse off again because so many things came out of my skin.
Yeah.
And then I would put oil on again, and then I would put a little bit of diatomaceous earth on top. Like I just pat it on, like I think of it like layering a cake.
Yeah. Yeah. And I ordered that.
But then I could sleep through the night. So
oh my God, that's all I wanted to hear.
Between the zippered vinyl mattress protectors and pillow protectors, and the bathing or showering, you know, you can shower, and if you don't have a bath, you use the Nature's Gift debriding soap and leave it on, like shut the shower off, leave the soap on 5 to 10 minutes, and then rinse off, and then use. I love Richard's mouthwash, which you can use as a mouthwash, and you slowly swallow, and it helps cleanse your insides. But you can also use it as a body wipe. So after the shower, I would wipe my body down or spray it with either the enzyme cleaner, the body wipe, or Nature's Gift debriding soap. Then I would do the oils, which could take up to 4 hours if you're really infested.
That's okay.
And, I mean, I wasn't getting a lot of sleep, you know, and then it went to 3 hours, and then 2 hours, and then 15 minutes. I mean, I do it now as a precaution, but nothing really comes out. I'm just, you know, I have PTSD. So, but then the oils, and then the diatomaceous earth, and you'll sleep like a baby.
Oh my goodness, I am so happy right now that I have everything on there except for the vinyl covers, but
those are big, those are huge.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do everything else because I'm just dying for a good night's sleep.
Yeah, you can get them at Walmart. That's the cheapest place, but they also sell them at Amazon. Just make sure they're not regular bed bug covers, but they actually say vinyl zippered, and they're in complete enclosures. Because the bed bug covers are a fabric, and these things love fabric. It doesn't matter; they're so tough.
Yeah.
You know?
They go right through it.
The vinyl is heavier. You want heavy vinyl, and it kind of stops them. Definitely. And you can spray the vinyl with, like, the enzyme cleaner before you go to bed, and then just wipe it down, and then put your sheets on after you wash them with, you know, the protocols for washing. And yeah.
I don't have it covered yet.
Great. Okay. Anyone else have a question or like to share?
Well, I have someone who texted me, and they're worried that they're giving Morgellons to their pet ferret, and unfortunately the answer is yes, you probably are. And
maybe. We can't say for certain.
Well, I mean, you can give it to cats, you can give it to dogs, you can, anything with fur. So.
Yeah, any animal is susceptible to getting it, but whether they are or will, I mean, whether they will is unknown. It's like everybody is susceptible to being infected by Morgellons, but not everybody is. So maybe we don't have this research. And as long as the Morgellons Foundation is in the dark, we won't get this research because they claim that Morgellons cannot be contagious. Maybe infectious. I mean, they split the hairs there somehow. But the reality is not everybody can be impacted by it. So whether it's 1 person out of 10 or 1 person out of 50 or 1 animal out of 10 or 1 animal out of 50, we don't know. So your parrot can pick it up, but we can't say that your parrot will pick it up.
No, not parrot. Ferret.
Ferret. Okay. Ferret doesn't matter. Whether it's a ferret, a parrot, a raccoon, a squirrel, or dog. It doesn't matter what it is. We can't proclaim that just because the animal is exposed to it that it will contract it. It's a possibility, but we don't know. It's like when you have your grandchildren over, you can hug them, but we're not sure. They might pick it up from you. So that's one of the last things you want to do is take the chance that you don't have to take.
Right.
Right.
It's a risk.
But there are protocols for treating pets, and you know, they're not that hard to do. I mean, you could rub diatomaceous earth in their fur. You can put it in the areas that they sleep. You can make sure their diet doesn't have a lot of grain in it. You can give them flea medicine, which actually helps kill mites and morgellons.
So in other words, if the animal does contract it, it's not the end of the earth. Whereas if your granddaughter contracts it, it could be because you don't have control of the diet or the bathing or the the protocol, and your son or daughter could get very angry and also contract it from the granddaughter. So that's a little bit different situation. So any other questions? Anyone text in any questions, Chris? Well, I know before someone had asked about the scalp protocol, and they didn't text in the question, but so we're going to handle it. The scalp is often affected by mites and Collembola and Morgellons and can be a real big problem. Some people have had to go to the extreme of shaving their hair. They're forced with a choice, either shave their hair or suffer internally. It may not necessarily be true that you have to shave your hair. Ethel has experience with it. And Ethel, are you on the call? Can you go over the protocol?
I'm on the call, and I'm going to give the example directly from the book. Those who have the book, they can go to page 64, but for those who haven't gotten there, I will give the information to you. First, wash and lather your hair with either the regular Beauty Forever shampoo or the Beauty Forever foaming shampoo. Rinse off and towel blot so it's not sopping wet. Next, add 3 drops of peppermint oil into 1 capful of 100% Nature's Gift debriding soap. Add that to an 8-ounce spray bottle. Shake it well. Spray your scalp and behind your ears with this solution. Next, you can spray your scalp then some peppermint oil and NG and massage that into the scalp and skin. Then take some Super MSM gel and Claudia's Dream Cream into the palm of your hand and add in a few drops of peppermint oil and mix the MSM with Claudia's Dream Cream all together and massage that deep into your scalp. Take a wide tooth comb through so it's getting through all the hair and down into the scalp area. Put a shower cap on for at least 30 minutes and allow the scalp to heat up. You'll feel the product activate in your scalp. Overnight, put a shower cap on or a swimming cap and keep it on overnight. A suggestion is to make sure you put like Vaseline or maybe some thick castor oil around the edges of your hair so that the solution won't drip down into your face and certainly not into your eyes. And do this often throughout the day. If you have to go outside, there are all kind of little cute caps that you can get that you can put on the cancer cap. So there are really a lot of really adorable ones that you can wear. And even though it's gotten spring and summer, there are some that are quite airy. Or some people look really good with their hair shaved down or just pulled back. So that's the protocol for your scalp, and this is not going to be a one-time instant cure. This may take a month. It may take longer because the scalp is one of the more difficult areas to dislodge these organisms. So just be very persistent and continue to do it. So your key ingredients are the Nature's Gift, Claudia's Dream Cream, some essential oil, the MSM gel. Make a mixture of it and keep your hair and your scalp saturated with that.
Thank you, Ethel. Now, we have these things that she's mentioning in our online store. You don't have to buy, we're not here to sell. We put the store together. We have the essential oils that we talked about. We have everything there. It's a convenience. In the book, there are options of other things that you can get in the pharmacy. Our goal here is to make it as easy as possible and have it all there for you. If you can find the things elsewhere, find them elsewhere. We're here to let you know that when they're in your scalp, you're in for a battle. It's a war. It's not like you can stand on your head for 45 minutes at a time and have your scalp submerged in a pot like you are with your body in a bath. That's what you're trying to mimic. But it's important to clean them out. It is a war, it's a battle, and you need to be prepared to go in for it and win the war. That's what we're telling you. And if you use our products, great, we have them there. But if you find things elsewhere that do the same thing, it's a war, any way you look at it. It may take longer with other products. I don't know. Let us know how it works for you. Great. Now, the other thing, one more thing. That's the scalp. What about the headrest in your automobile? What about the pillow that you're sleeping on? If they're not disinfected, the whole thing that you're doing with the scalp is a waste of time. If you're not on a diet, it's all a waste of time. If the diet hasn't kicked in, we haven't really talked about the diet. The diet is very, very strict. Very strict.
In stage 1.
Stage 1. Well, that's where you're having all the trouble with your head. That's where you have the most difficulty. So simultaneously, you need to do 3 to 4 things. 1, that diet needs to kick in. If it doesn't work for you, you got to figure out how to make it work. You keep a diary, keep a journal, write down what you're eating, and notice how you feel afterwards. Find out what you might be sensitive to. The diet is effective for 99% of the people, but maybe you can't have spelt. Maybe you can't have black coffee. So you got to figure out what is important to remove from the diet that has it kick in. Or there are medications. Sometimes you might be on medication for ADHD or something like that, or narcolepsy, and those medications produce a lot of dopamine, which could be a problem. And there's alternative medication listed in the book as well that you might switch to so that you can have the diet work for you. There are also medications in the book that are listed to reduce dopamine uptake that sometimes are important to give it a kickstart. So I even found one time that it was important for me to take extra Max 1 to increase my glutathione level. So it's important that you figure out what makes that diet work, because that diet does work, and it's amazing. That diet works and you'll feel like you're cured, but you're not, but you'll feel that way. And when you get through stage 1, you go to stage 2, the diet expands. And then when you go to stage 3, it's like me, I can eat anything I want, and I'm free, totally free. So diet. Next thing, disinfecting your environment. We talked about this already. Your clothing, your everything, disinfecting stuff. And then thirdly, cleaning your skin. That's what makes this protocol work that you're using with your scalp. All 3 things at the same time. Not one, then another. No, this week I'm going to do the diet. Next week I'll disinfect the house. Next week no. All at once. It's overwhelming. But it works, and that's what we're here to motivate you so that one day you'll say, hey, because you guys, I got the message. I got to put in the hours. I got to put in the time, and it's worth it. Because I'm worth it, I got my life back. Because of you guys. So that's why we're here. So 3 things simultaneously, and if affordable, then the targeted supplements and nutrients to give you an extra edge and get your health and immune functioning back. The AMA and the FDA require me to tell you and everyone on this call that none of us are medical doctors. Okay? So before you accept any of my advice or any of my recommendations or even start the King Diet, you're to thoroughly discuss them all with your medical doctor to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems you may be presently experiencing. We are also instructed to tell you, the AMA, we're not allowed to diagnose. We don't diagnose you. That's why earlier on I said we're here to educate you. That's what Dr. Saverly says in her book, what you'll find on WebMD, that's education. So we're not here to diagnose, treat, cure, or mitigate any disease. What we're allowed to do is educate you. Educate you how to clean them out of your body with the diet, how to clean them out of your skin with the baths and cleaning agents, and how to clean them out of your environment. That's what we're allowed to do, and how to utilize targeted supplements to build to build immune functioning and health. That's what we're allowed to do.
Can I say something, Richard?
Yes.
I just want to. It is so important to meet this challenge. I was also reading about how, all organisms, the way that they grow is through resistance, through hardship.
Through what?
It's through resistance.
Yes.
Resistance. We don't grow from sitting doing nothing. We grow from pushing against something. That when you lift weights, you are putting stress on your body. So we grow through those experiences. And that's a way of staying resilient, by seeing it as a challenge, but knowing that I'm going to grow through this and I'm going to get better and I'm going to meet my goal. That being said, it's also important to make sure you rest, because your immune system can really get even further run down if you're just tirelessly working and not getting the rest you need every day, and a little bit of relaxation. And I'm a real advocate for exercise. It's cold here and a little rainy, and I swam for probably 45 minutes in a pool outside. So today, when I got out of that pool, and I was practicing that resistance. Who wants to get into the cold pool? There are lots of people that did today, but they were my friends from swimming. But that's pushing yourself a little bit. I felt fantastic when I got out. But also just giving people a reminder to go gently with yourself. You have an illness. The reason why this started is because your body was imbalanced to begin with. You don't want to push it in even more of an out-of-balance tilt, like, ruthlessly, disrespectfully working yourself to the ground. Make sure you rest. Make this a priority, but make sure you get your rest as well. And a little bit of exercise and fresh air and getting away from it all as well is very important.
Thank you.
That's great, Margie.
Thank you. And I might say, yes, I might say before we take these 2 people that the technique that Margie shared with you earlier about the meditation, doing those kinds of things can be equivalent to hours of normal sleep. Just 3 minutes of self-hypnosis, like I have a CD on that can be equivalent to a couple of hours of normal sleep. So these meditations, they're phenomenal. It's unfortunate that during the first segment, we must have lost about maybe 8 or 9 people clicked out because we didn't get to the meat of the program. Hey, it's all part of the program. If you don't take care of yourself mentally and spiritually, you're lost. you're not even going to be able to apply the rest of what we have to share with you and the mechanics of getting your life back.
That's right. I
Yes.
have 2 questions. So, first, can you share your website where you buy the stuff?
Oh, that's easy. Parasite Store. That's singular parasite. Parasitestore.com is the real easy way to get into it. Parasitestore.com.
And the second question was, what do you do about lips and eyelids and I'm going to add eyes because usually they're not just in your eyelids and eyelashes, they're actually in your eyes.
Well, number one, the diet. Personally, my experience was when I had gotten reinfected maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, it was amazing that the eyelashes were probably the first place that I noticed the activity. I mean, the itching and the biting, and the eyelashes just became overwhelmed. But once the diet kicked in, the eyelash issue became less and less. This is long before I even knew a debriding soap, or we even had an online store, or we even had any products to use. The diet itself was amazing in that regard. Now, as far as them in your eyes and lips and things like that, well, we have a lip balm, which is incredible. I mean, I don't know. We could do a segment on everything we have in the store. Like, for instance, I noticed today somebody bought 10 of the boron, 10 bottles of boron, $5.95 each. Not a big purchase, but 10 bottles. What does he know? I don't know. Somebody bought like 10 lipsticks some time ago, and I said, "What do you?" Well, he says, "I put them all over my body." Well, we also have lip balm, you know. So there's a lip balm that you can use on your lips. Phenomenal. I never think to promote this stuff, but the products are incredible. So there's the answer to the lips. With the eyes, we have colloidal silver in the store. Many people use it to wash their eyes with. Now, many people make the mistake of thinking that, okay, I'm going to just wash my eyes once with colloidal silver, and that's going to be the answer. Well, Robin, how many times did you do it? Did you just do it once?
Every 20 minutes for 3 to 4 days.
Yes. Be aggressive. You know, these things don't take vacations. These organisms don't lie down and die for you. They don't take vacations. Margie talked about resistance. You know what? The more you resist them, the stronger they get for a while. They seem to arm their forces and be even stronger in coming back. In fact, if you talk to people at the Do Your Own Pest Control, or the other one is DoMyOwnPestControl.com, and they both sell the triple pesticide. They will tell you not to use the triple pesticide every day. Why? Because the organisms get stronger. They become more aggressive. So it's a matter of pacing yourself and going at it for the long haul, and you may be surprised that when you go at it with all the guns that you've got, everything that we share here, your path will be a lot shorter than you imagine. Now, the bottom line is, I know everybody on this call has worked their asses off for years and gotten nowhere. The good news is that you're going to work your ass off, but you're going to get somewhere finally. You're going to get to the end. You're going to get to a point where the diet is kicked in. You're going to call me up and say, okay, I want to volunteer to be your coach. I got the diet to kick in, and I can help other people. I got that far. I got my environment clean. I want to be a coach because I can help people get their environment clean. And then by giving, as we talked about earlier, you receive tenfold. Anyone else?
Richard?
Yes.
Richard, this is Candy.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
You have the issue with the mold and the toxicity, mold toxicity, right?
Do you think that's what's wrong with me?
Everything you've told me, you've been on the call before. We looked at it. You don't have filaments and fibers. You're concerned that you're dealing with Morgellons. If you don't have filaments and fibers, you can rest in peace. You're not dealing with Morgellons. Dr. Saverly.
It might be mold.
Well, that's what you're saying. You're living in a moldy environment. You go outside. I'm very familiar. Okay, you go outside. It's in your neighborhood. It's in the town that you live. Practically, you're living in an agricultural area where they're spraying pesticides and stuff for the farm. It's not a healthy place to be. And
you can't see the mold in the house, but it smells musty to me.
Well, that's it. Yep. Mold toxicity is a big problem. The only thing I could say, I'm not an expert, is that you would have to call in some remediation people to remediate the mold in the house if it's there. You can do cleaning. Ammonia is the best thing.
Those guys, they're fine. I'm the only one having problems.
Well,
and so they're not going to mess with it. But I'm planning on leaving. I'm trying to get me a good car because the one I got is musty smelling inside.
So that's
I'm
where
trying to get me a car and leave. And
that's where you would want to use the ozone machine to clean the mold out of your car. You could use the electrostatic sprayer and use one of our the MetaClean or the thyme-based Disinfect and spray it and get the mold out of your car, of your environment.
Well, I'm going to get a different one tomorrow. I'm going to try. But do you think when I get the other one that I'm going to get, I should ozone it out too before I use it? You know what I mean?
Well, the first thing is to give it the smell test. You have you have the ability to don't buy a car that smells moldy.
Yeah. Well, when I went to get this other one, I was being rushed and I didn't feel good because I was so toxic. I couldn't tell. But then when I got home, I could tell. Now I can tell. Like if I go get in it, I always wear a charcoal mask because everywhere I go here, I have problems. And so I pull my shirt up over my mask so I know that it bugs me when I get in there.
So the only hope that I can see for you, and again, I'm not an expert on this field. My forte is Morgellons, Collembola, skin fungus, things that not environmental. So the best thing would be for you to get to an environment somewhere arid, dry in Arizona, by the desert where it rains very rarely, and live. Because I remember years ago there was a doctor that had her office in this house, and every time I went in, there was that musty smell, and I wondered how can she possibly conduct a practice from this musty office.
Yeah, I took a Morgellons test in my nose, a swab test, and they said that I had staph in my nose. One of their Morgellons tests, they call it.
Okay.
So I don't know if that has to do with mold or not, but that showed up in my test. And then I'm waiting to hear back from Great Plains Lab again because I sent in a urine test to them to see how much mycotoxins or different ones I have in my body. So I'm trying to do that, but
that'll be a good indication. So
and I was going to ask you, what is boron for? Boron. I was going to tell you when you said a man bought 10 bottles, he might be a man that's giving it to people because.
No, we're not going to speculate. We're not going to speculate.
No, I'm just saying. I know a young man that sent me a bottle, but I was going to ask you what it's for.
Boron is said to be the antidote for Morgellons, and we've already clarified that it's highly unlikely you're dealing with Morgellons because you have no filaments and fibers.
I know, but I do have the boron because he sent it to me, so I was wondering if I used it, could I just use it to use it? Would it hurt me?
Of course, it's a mineral. It doesn't hurt. It's it's a mineral, and you have to take a lot of it to overdose. So one pill a day is not going to be of any harm. Okay. Thank you, Candy. Wish you well and solving your mold toxicity issues.
Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome. Have a good day. Anyone else like to share?
9607, you can go ahead.
Me? Jennifer?
Yes. Hi.
Well, first I wanted to say in response to the diet thing, I just wanted to say thank you. I'm on my day 3 of the diet, and I've been following it very strictly. I've been following all your guidelines and your suggestions, and everything is just so completely changed in my world in the last 3 days. Actually, in the last day or 2, but it's really showing results. So I look forward to. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've been dealing with this for about 8 years, and this is the first time that I've ever been able to do anything. I've been to hospitals, I've been diagnosed with scabies and ringworm, and every single time I went to a hospital and they gave me a diagnosis and they gave me a prescription, I was thrilled. I'm like, yes, something's finally gonna, and then I go home and it's nothing, and I go back and finally they started looking at me like I was crazy. And then you get to a point, you know. But anyways, I did have one more question if you have time.
Surely.
Have you ever heard anything about like the colors? Like I get the goo, the clear gel substance coming out of my face. I'm not sure what it's called. But
goo.
When I wipe it with the goo, yeah, just the sticky, it looks like sweat. Everybody thinks I'm sweating.
Biofilm.
I'm not. Okay, yeah. And so I take a white cloth and I wipe my face, and I get colors on the white cloth. And each part of my face is a different color. Like my forehead would be one color, and my chin would be another. And then I go to bed on white sheets, and I wake up and my sheets are tie-dyed in different colors. So it's kind of, yeah, I don't know. Can you explain this to me?
Well,
have you ever heard of this?
Biofilm is associated with Morgellons 10 times over. Not, like I said earlier, not everybody. Some people have white goo, some people have black goo. You've got orange goo, and you got different colors of goo. So I would suspect
but it comes
that
out clear.
And then turns a color,
clear.
yeah.
And yeah, it's clear when it's on my face, and then I wipe it because my face isn't walking around with colors on it. It's just clear. It looks like sweat. And then I wipe it, and the cloth is color.
Well, to deal with biofilm, there are 2 things. Number one is you want to be constantly cleaning your face with anything, you know. Ideally, it's our Nature's Gift products, the MSM Super Gel, that kind of thing. You know, that is a very powerful. It's not only a gel, but it's also a supplement because it's organic sulfur, and Morgellons chews up organic sulfur, MSM, from your cellular structure. So you would also want to take it internally. It comes in capsules that we have also. It's part of the protocol that I had sent you. And that will help fix your skin. The other thing is that we have a very powerful enzyme. It's called kinase enzymes, and that does 2 things. That goes after fungal organisms in that it assimilates, dissolves chitin, which is the building blocks of all fungal organisms in the body. But more importantly, it's actually promoted by the manufacturers as destroying biofilm. So that would be something that you definitely want to incorporate because, and I don't know, I think you can go like 6 or 8 capsules a day. You'd have to read the instructions. I don't memorize them all. So that's 2 things. The third thing is using the MSM gel on your face, any of our creams, lotions, as often, as frequently as you can. Now, when you're using the creams and gels, for instance, the skin lotion, you want to wet your face and then apply the lotion and massage it in. Then apply more water and massage again. You will see that your skin again gets white. You'll see that when you first apply it and start massaging it in, the skin is white and then the whiteness disappears. And then you wet your skin again and massage it, and the whiteness will again reappear until the whiteness goes away. And then you do it the 3rd time, wet your skin and massage again. And again, the whiteness will be there and it will disappear. So what you're doing is you're taking the Nature's Gift and the water to the deeper levels of your skin. very deep, and that's going to start extracting this stuff. So in the beginning, you might see tons of this stuff coming out. It seems like it's going to get worse than better, because that's what this is going to be doing. It's going to be extracting it.
Okay. That's been a big, huge problem. I just walk around looking like I'm sweating buckets, like I've been on a bender for a month, and it's just, I hate being in public like that. Another thing is I'm so grateful for the masks right now, because my chin right now has just a big sore, big red with dots and stuff all over it, and that's just since I've been on the diet. I don't know if that's because of the diet, because it's working, or it's just a new, I don't know. But I was going to say, I've been putting colloidal silver healing gel. Is that something I should or should not use? Because
there's no problem with that. Colloidal silver healing gel, there's no problem with that whatsoever. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know of anything that you could apply to your skin that would be a problem. It's the things that you eat that can be the problem. Like you wouldn't, like Robin said earlier, you can use coconut as a carrier oil, but you wouldn't want to consume coconut oil because you're dealing with Collembola and springtails as well. Now, if you were only dealing with Morgellons, then you could have coconut oil. But unfortunately, basically 90% of the people who are dealing with Morgellons also are dealing with springtails.
Right.
And almost 100% of the people who complete the questionnaire are dealing with some kind of mite.
Of course, yeah. I noticed that you said about one more thing about the water, and I was grocery shopping today and I didn't know. I typically buy iodized, is that what it's called, water? No, alkaline, or is it alkaline water? Is that?
I don't know enough about it to recommend it. I know that there was a big problem with many people getting sick in lawsuits with some kind of alkalized water.
Oh, really?
So,
okay. Well, I did not buy it because I didn't know. But what water do you recommend?
Okay, my suggestion is either use distilled water or Aquafina, which is a reverse osmosis water, or Poland Springs, and get our ionic minerals. You put 1 sachet of mineral, they come in sachets, and you put the 1 sachet in, you have to use a glass bottle, no metal, nothing metal, and no cheap plastic bottles. It has to be either Lexan, which is a very high grade of plastic, it's the grade that the plastic water bottles come in, the 5-gallon bottles. That's Lexan. So you can buy smaller Lexan bottles. They're often the sports bottles, or glass. And you put the distilled water in, and you add 1 sachet a day, and that will supply all of your minerals. Then the sachet, after you're done with it, after a few days, you can take them out and let them dry. You can open it up. You can put that in your bath water, but you have a shower, so you're not going to be able to use it. But you can put it down the drain to clean your drain. Again, we didn't talk about this, but drains can be a real big source of these organisms, particularly Collembola and some of the mites. They love to live in toxic environments like drains, so you want to be disinfecting your drains almost daily in the beginning with either ammonia or bleach, but not both together, or white vinegar. You don't want to waste good apple cider vinegar, but white vinegar or something to disinfect your drains. So the water with the minerals is an alkaline, pH of like 9.5. So that's what you. So the antidote for Morgellons is boron plus alkalizing your system with something like apple cider vinegar, but apple cider vinegar feeds Collembola, so the alternative is our ionic mineral infused water with a pH of 10.5.
Okay. But I'd like to say one thing. I'm writing this down. If you don't get the ionic minerals, the thing about distilled water is it has no minerals, and you need minerals. So
you don't want to drink distilled water by itself,
right?
Because it will put you in negative. Now, The sad thing is that we've been out of ionic minerals for a month, but the good news is we're promised that they'll be in the 1st of June, so I'm going to be ordering them on Tuesday.
That's my birthday, Richard.
Happy birthday
it really
to
is.
you. Happy birthday to
No,
you. Happy birthday, dear Jennifer. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, I feel so special. Thank you. Now, is colloidal silver? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What?
I just want. You could also get like a pure water filter that you put on your sink that.
Yeah, no, not. I don't trust this water out here. Not, yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, like the water where I live is pretty good, but I have water filters.
Yeah, no, not here.
Yes, okay.
Is colloidal silver considered a mineral? Could I have that or no?
Silver is a mineral. Yes, silver is a mineral.
Can I add it to the distilled and that would make a difference? Or no?
Well, we do have the colloidal silver in the store. Generally, people don't add it to their water. They either now, if you're taking colloidal silver, usually by the teaspoon, never ever use a metal spoon. That's another no-no.
Okay.
Always use a plastic spoon. Always use a plastic spoon. Okay. So they'll take a spoonful of colloidal silver that way. Or you use it in their eyes, which is fine, you know, in a you drop it in your eyes, or use the eye wash cup in your eyes.
I'm so glad. Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Great questions. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else like to ask a question or share? Wow, I think we covered a lot of questions here today. I guess we'll close this segment, then we'll go to Robin's Corner.